officially now the next generation of gaming. This is Speak Geek. Sorry we missed last week. I actually don't remember why we missed last week. Just something came up. Did I have to work?
Yes, I think you had to work, and then I think at the point we just decided to hold off until next gen came out.
Yep, which I think was a great idea because we've now been able to put some hours into both of our systems. We both were one of the lucky ones. We each got a PS5 and a Series X. We will give you our impressions on those towards the end of the show because I'm sure we have a lot to say. So even though our show notes looks a little short today, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a nice beefy episode. So let's get on with everything.
Shit short about this.
Yeah, exactly. So how you been, man?
I have been up and down, but the past week, man, has been fantastic. I'm glad to be back recording. I'm glad to be spitting some of our thoughts out to our loyal listeners. And dude, I've been all right, man. How about you?
Well, you know this. This is a personal thing, and this is going to be way too TMI, but I don't really give a shit. But I woke up Monday or Tuesday morning with basically a full body rash, and it hasn't gone away since. I mean, it's better today. But imagine being itchy the entire day, 24/7, and you can't scratch it, so you're just sitting there suffering. That's been my week.
That's terrible. It's like a dog in a cone, man.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And I contacted my doctor, and I was like, "What the hell is this? Is it a side effect of the meds I'm on? What is it?" And without being able to go in and take a skin sample or something like that, the best everyone can do is just say, "Well, it could be an allergic reaction to anything." So I've just been,
Yep.
I've just been sitting around popping Benadryl like candy and and trying to survive here.
But you're here, you're alive. If that's the worst thing you got going on, man, then you're better than most.
Yep, exactly. And it's already dying down. I'm feeling much better today than I was this time last week. So hallelujah. Let's get started with our show today.
Hallelujah.
The first piece of news, and I kind of figured we already knew this was coming just because of the way Endgame ended. They were kind of setting up with this, but we are getting more as Guardians of the Galaxy, as Chris Pratt has been confirmed to be joining Thor, Love and Thunder. Now, here's the interesting thing with the news about Natalie Portman possibly becoming the new Thor. Had a Star-Lord play into this with her becoming Thor, and what do you think Odinson's going to be doing during this movie? You think he's still going to be the main part of the movie?
Well, see, this, from what I remember and from what I got from the press conference when Taika Waititi announced this, was that it was the passing of the torch to Natalie Portman to do more female Thor, and Chris Hemsworth wanted to step away. He even didn't want to do Thor Ragnarok, but he signed on because of Taika Waititi, because it gave him a whole new direction. So he wanted to stick with that, which I think is great. So I think this right here is going to be Hemsworth's swan song to getting out of the Thor franchise, but also his way to kind of get into the Guardians of the Galaxy, because there's a whole saga and story of Guardians and Thor. Like, isn't it the As Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this could definitely put him in there, and then I don't know. I think that there's going to be a love interest definitely with Star-Lord and my God, Natalie Portman. So
you think there's gonna be a thing with Jane and Star-Lord?
Yes, absolutely, because Jane's going to become the next Thor, so she's going to have the powers. Star-Lord's half human, half god. It would make sense, and then you're kind of opening up a whole nother galaxy, because Chris Pratt, aside from being in the 2 Guardians of the Galaxy movie, hasn't done a whole lot in the Marvel Universe, and he's also one of the biggest names that Marvel has right now, because you got Chris Evans is gone, you got Robert Downey Jr. is gone, so you're trying to build up these characters, so you launch your new universe off the back of Chris Pratt, who also, you have to think, while he's not a very good actor, he did carry the new Jurassic World franchise, which was the highest grossing movie of all time, until another movie he was starring in, Avengers, that he was in, beat it, so I think that Marvel's going to put their bets on Chris Pratt and try to build up their future with people like Chris Pratt, Natalie Portman, Anthony Mackie, Stan Sebastian, all of this, and I think that's probably where they're heading.
Yeah, and having him kind of, if what you're saying is actually going to come to pass, it makes sense because it looks like Phase 4 of Marvel or the MCU is going in a much more cosmic route. You have the Eternals coming out. You have a lot of TV projects, but with the Eternals and WandaVision doing what I think they're going to be doing, and the potential of the Fantastic Four coming in, and they're super cosmic to begin with. I mean, it would make sense for the Guardians of the Galaxy to take much more of a front seat in this. But what about Gamora? What do you think is going to happen there? Because this isn't the same Gamora anymore. It's the one that doesn't know who the hell Star-Lord is.
Right. And I think this is where and that's where it's hard to, how to explain it. We don't have the same Gamora, so she's going to be different. She also has her sister there. So so are we going to see the Gamora who's going to go and continue to be that battle-hardened person? Because what Marvel is starting to drift away from is having these female characters who are just somebody's girlfriend. And I think that Gamora is such a powerful, like, female character. The same with Natalie Portman coming in as Jane. She is a very powerful character where you don't need her to be somebody's boyfriend or somebody's wife or somebody's girlfriend. Like, you just don't need that with these characters anymore. But with Chris Pratt, you can bring him in to this Love and Thunder and kind of make him that love interest for that movie because he's fucking Star-Lord, and that's just the way he is. So, just like if you think about it, if you look back at the original, like when Iron Man started up, Iron Man was, people forget, but in the first Iron Man, he was just fucking everybody. In Iron Man 2, dude was just still kind of trying to fuck everybody.
Pretty much, yeah.
So, I mean, then he settled down, and Chris Pratt, Star-Lord, can be that next chauvinistic kind of whatever character filling in for the RDJ. And I think that's what we're going to see. So I think Gamora will get back to that. But, don't be surprised if she shows up in this as well, because it would only make sense.
Yeah, I agree. I guess we'll have to see. With the future of the Marvel movies kind of all in limbo right now, I really don't know what's going on. Because wasn't Eternals supposed to come out like early next year, right? But I don't think, it got pushed back, and Black Widow was supposed to come out like 3 months ago, and that never happened. So we'll see what happens. But it is kind of cool to see, like, for example, Spider-Man 3 starting to film again. Tom Holland keeps tweeting shit, and so I'm happy to see, even though COVID cases are skyrocketing again, I'm happy to see them kind of moving forward on this. But
absolutely.
Sticking with the MCU, let's move on to the Disney Plus television.
Speaking
side.
of the Spider-Man stuff, speaking of Spider-Man, dude, I went back and I rewatched, and I texted you this the other day. I rewatched Spider-Man 1, I rewatched Spider-Man 2 with Tobey Maguire, and dude, Tobey Maguire, hands down, is the best Spider-Man. No disrespect to Tom Holland, he's okay, but he is way too pretty as a high school boy, kind of like a Zac Efron. Like, there's no way you can play the, oh my god, I'm nerdy, nobody likes me. You were pretty. Like, you just have to accept that. Tobey Maguire played that goofy, nerdy Peter Parker. He made me uncomfortable when he was talking to Kirsten Dunst, and I was just like, oh, please stop.
Yeah, so, we talked about this the other episode. He has so many moments. And the one that sticks out the most to me is when they're outside of the Oscorp lab, and he thinks MJ's looking at him, so he smiles and waves, and she's actually looking at him. That part, dude, to this day, I've seen it at least 100 times. To this day, still makes me cringe. And that is so... Dude, that's how I'm supposed to feel when I see Peter being Peter. Before, pre-Spider-Man.
Well, watching Spider-Man 2, where he was, the part that I'll never forget, where he was trying to walk in to see Mary Jane's play, and Bruce Campbell was the door guard, and he walks in, and he stops him, he's like, tight too. Like, just that whole scene, it's just like every step, like, Peter Parker just looks more and more defeated. He's like, dude, come on, man. Like, it's...
Or when he delivers the pizza.
Maguire plays it perfect. Yeah, she's like, I'm not paying for this, and he slowly unsnaps it and just walks away. Man, rips the sticker off his helmet.
Have you seen the Spider-Man 2.1 extended scene for that scene?
No, I own it. I've never watched the 2.1. I don't know what the difference was. So
they added like 9 minutes of scenes, and one of the scenes that were extended, was that scene with Emily Blunt, or not Emily Blunt. I'm sorry, with Emily Deschanel. Is that her name? The one from Bones? Yeah. Well, is an extended scene for that scene. And she goes, yeah, I'm not paying for that. And as he unhooks the pizza, he just he does it so slow. That part is extended like an extra minute or so. He just keeps looking up at her and kind of doing this awkward grin, and then he turns around to leave, and he goes towards the closet again, and she goes, "Hey, elevator's over there," and he goes, "Oh, right." And he's standing there waiting for the elevator doors to close, just kind of staring at her with this idiot grin. He's like, "Okay, bye."
Oh my god. I have to watch that, dude. See, and I feel like only Tobey Maguire can do that as a Peter Parker, because Andrew Garfield cannot.
Yeah,
Tom
he's too
Holland
cool. Like I've said millions of times, he's too cool.
Right. Like, it's just hard for me to take it, man. But Tobey Maguire, even though he was like 34, pretending to be a 16-year-old high school kid, did it. Like, he just did it, man. And it's funny as shit, dude. But I'm glad that we can laugh at this now. It's great. But but back to I just hope that if they can somehow get Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield to get back into this, man, I want to see goofy Tobey Maguire again, because I forgot how good we had it when these movies first came out, that we have to appreciate it, man. Like, Tobey Maguire, he is what he is, but goddamn was he good as Peter Parker and Spider-Man, dude. He really was. James Franco was great. James Franco is the only actor who can play a believable William Dafoe's son. Like, that's it. They both look creepy as shit, and it just worked. Like, I don't understand how, but I fucking believed it. I'm like, yeah, I think you came from Willem Dafoe. Man. It makes sense.
Hey, Dane DeHaan, say what you will about The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and how shitty of a movie that was, and how kind of fucked up his New Goblin was, but Dane DeHaan played a really good Harry as well, because I bought him as a spoiled rich brat, and he has that creepy enough look to where you believe that he'll snap.
Right. He could have played a Willem Dafoe son too, or a Jack Nicholson son. He just has that, and there are good casting points. It's just that those movies were just garbage. But dude, it's just so cool to go back and see Toby and be like, man, this is what we had. This is fun. Yeah. There's so much humor, and there's so much practical effects, and there's so much heart and emotion. And then you look at the other Spider-Man. Right, and then you look at the new Spider-Mans and you're like, wow, these are great, but it's because there's these huge set pieces and we actually get to see Mysterio and all this CGI and stuff, man. It's just, there's a different feeling to those movies from then, and it was great to experience that the other night, man. It's been a long time.
I agree. It's hard because Tobey's the original, and for us, he was the OG Spider-Man. It's like going back and watching Keaton. Hard to beat Keaton, man. As great as Christian Bale and Affleck were, it's hard to. Oh, dude. It's just hard, right? Or Christopher Reeve. As much as Henry Cavill looks like a living, breathing Superman, I mean, you say Superman, Christopher Reeve is what pops into my head, not Henry Cavill.
Right. Right. So, dude, did you know, side note, that Ben Affleck is the only actor to play both Superman and Batman?
I did, because he was in that Hollywoodland movie.
There you go, man. Most people are like, what? No, he wasn't. I'm like, yes, he was. Hollywoodland. He played George Reeves. Yep. Okay, cool. Okay, good.
Let's move on to Moon Knight, because that was one of the shows that was announced on Disney Plus that was becoming a series. It was Moon Knight, Hawkeye, Ms. Marvel, a whole bunch of shows like that. Low-key WandaVision. And it was just announced, it was like 3 weeks ago. This was one of the earlier pieces of news we had, that Oscar Isaac will be starring in Moon Knight. Now, are you familiar with Moon Knight?
Not even the slightest.
Okay, I'm not super familiar with them, because when he first debuted or not debuted, but when I was first getting into comics, like in second and third grade, I never really super got into Moon Knight. But so here's a very short primer on the character. A lot of people make fun of Marvel for creating Moon Knight to be Marvel's Batman, because he has a similar. It's a very dark, type of. It's a very dark series, and he's. Other than the fact that he's dressed completely in white, which is the polar opposite of Batman, if you look at his costume and you look at the character, he's very Batman-esque, Now the character is Mark Spector. He's a former soldier. I think he was in the CIA. He was a former mercenary and stuff like that. And what happens was he was betrayed by his friend, and then I think they were like searching some temple or some archaeology type thing, and he was betrayed by his friend who wanted to steal the artifacts for himself and sell them. So as Mark Spector is dying, this Egyptian god, the moon god, I forgot his name, basically gives him a second chance at life and like takes over his body. So the Moon Knight is basically that Egyptian
The
god.
Egyptian god
Spector.
Khonsu.
Huh?
The Egyptian god Khonsu?
That sounds right. I don't remember.
I'm looking at the article. I think it's Khonsu.
Oh.
Khonsu.
Oh, okay. Then yeah, you're right. It's that. So basically what happens is he's given superhuman abilities. So yes, he's kind of like Batman because he lurks around in the night on rooftops and he has a Batman-looking suit and everything like that. But he actually has superpowers, for one thing. So
Batman has superpowers. He can drink all day and fight crime all night.
Yeah.
That's the superpower.
Exactly.
He's basically an officer of the law.
Yeah. Oh, and the thing about Moon Knight that I do like is he was one of the first characters that I remember reading about that suffers from a mental illness. I believe he has schizophrenia or something like that, and that actually plays a lot into his character. And I'm not ashamed to say it. I suffer from mental issues, and it's cool to see that represented, on the page.
Yeah. Dude, I remember you talking to me about Moon Knight at one point or another. And when you brought up the mental health issues and stuff, dude, and that's cool, dude. That you have that kind of connection. That's dope.
There's another character in Marvel, and this is going off on a tangent, but I hope they bring him to the screen, either big or small, sometime soon. But do you know the character, the Sentry?
Sounds familiar, but you're gonna have to refresh my memory.
Yeah, a lot of people say that he's Marvel's version of Superman because the character is so powerful. When he's in his superpower form. Sentry.
Yeah.
I will always be thankful to Marvel for creating this character because when Sentry is in his human form, he has anxiety, he has depression, he has he's bipolar. His book focuses as much on his mental illnesses as it does on when he becomes the Sentry, and it's just like Jessica Cruz Green Lantern, who suffers from anxieties like I do. It's just really cool to see shit that I'm working through, in my own life represented in these characters that are supposed to be superhuman and godly and, and all that. And they deal with the same shit I do.
That's dope, dude. That's dope.
So, yeah, Moon Knight, Oscar Isaac apparently is going to be Mark Spector. That's cool. I mean, Mark Spector is not one of those characters where I say the name and you can picture what he looks like a Peter Parker or a Clark Kent or a Bruce Wayne. I say those names and boom, you can pull up a comic version of him in your head. You can pull up a Michael Keaton version in your head, whatever. But Mark Spector is the type of character where he's so unknown for the most part that you or I could play him and no one would bat an eye,
Well, I mean, don't say no about it now, because if I got cast, it would be the most handsome cast Marvel actor ever. So
Of course, but poor Oscar Isaac now has to do it instead. So
I mean, it's because they couldn't afford me. They have to hire this bum.
Exactly, yeah, fucking bum, Poe Dameron, blah.
Yeah, this Oscar winner. Get out of here.
I do love Oscar Isaac though; he's fucking fantastic, and Poe Dameron was one of my favorite characters in the new Star Wars.
Well, I'm hoping that Oscar Isaac's second foray into a superhero type movie is way better than his first, because Oscar Isaac is somebody who has a good face. He's a good actor. He can have facial expressions.
Yeah.
He is what you get. So, like when they had him in the X-Men movies, they covered his handsome face and they just kind of made him Apocalypse, which that could have been anybody, because you don't need an actor.
Yep.
Right, but you put Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse. Why do you do that? Why not get some no-shit actor who nobody gives a fuck about their face to play it? But I'm hoping that they let Oscar Isaac be Oscar Isaac, and do his acting like they did in Star Wars. So I'm excited, dude. He's a hell of an actor. He knows what he's doing. I'm excited to see how this goes.
Have you seen that meme of Daisy Ridley, John Boyega, and Oscar Isaac training for Star Wars Episode 7?
No.
Okay. It cracks me up each time. Okay, so the caption says, Oscar Isaac is my spirit animal. Okay? And it's a picture of Daisy Ridley in the gym lifting weights, looking all ripped and tough, And then it's John Boyega in the gym lifting weights, looking all ripped and sweaty and everything. And then it's a picture of Oscar Isaac in a sweatshirt eating Cheetos with chopsticks.
Oh, I love that. That's perfect.
And Oscar Isaac is my spirit animal. And I'm like, oh my fucking goodness, yes. And he just looks like he hasn't showered in 3 days.
You know what? Because he can. He don't give a shit. He's Oscar Isaac. He's like, whatever, dude. I wake up and piss excellence. Hey, let him, dude.
Oh man! Every time
That's
I think about
amazing.
that, I crack up. But hey, let's move on. To
That's
DC
awesome.
now. King Shark has been announced for the Peacemaker series. Now, when you sent me this, I have to admit, I didn't know they were making a Peacemaker series. I mean, this is still the John Cena Peacemaker from Suicide Squad, right? They're not doing like a different show with a different actor?
No, it is John Cena. That's why this is something that he said he couldn't talk about. This is a big thing he's been recording. That's why he, I guess, was growing the hair and stuff. This is him. It's John Cena.
So, okay, that's interesting.
And,
it's interesting that DC is going to do kind of, quote, the Marvel thing and spinning off from a movie into a TV show. I wasn't... I mean, I know they're already doing it with Ben Affleck and Batman and everything, but I wasn't expecting this, and I didn't know about it until you sent it to me. So why don't you... can you fill me in a bit on this?
Well, dude, so I heard about this just when you did, but apparently this is a huge thing that HBO Max has been wanting to push. They've been wanting to bring it in. They were blown away. I guess James Gunn and them were blown away with what Cena did on the set of Suicide Squad. He needs a name. So they wanted to bring him in for the Peacemaker series, which I think is dope. And again, I'm like you. I didn't know what the fuck they were going to do with this. Yeah. But apparently... what the fuck was gonna? I guess Viola Davis, Amanda Waller is supposed to be coming back in
for. You mean for the Peacemaker show?
For the Peacemaker show, I guess she might be coming in and making a small appearance.
That would make sense. It would make sense to tie the show into the Suicide Squad movie. It just would.
Yeah. So the show is supposed to take place after the Suicide Squad movie, and all the events in the movie will lead to the Peacemaker series starring John Cena.
Wow. So I guess we know that he survives.
And James Gunn is creating the show, and he's helping write it as well.
Oh, so I mean, this is not just some. I mean, this is going to be top tier.
Right. So from what I've been getting is that Peacemaker is supposed to be like the rated, almost like what's his name from The Boys. Like, he's a hardcore Captain America killing motherfucker.
Which is funny, because there is a character that is...
like Homelander.
Well, there's a character in The Boys that is an analog of Captain America, and I believe Jensen Ackles has been cast to play him in the next season of The Boys. His name is Soldier Boy. And in the...
Oh, yeah, so that...
In the comics, it's I'm not even gonna... It's so fucked up, his character. But yeah, so that's funny... How weird is it that in this year of 2020, with all the shit that's been going on politically, we have characters like Soldier Boy and Homelander and Peacemaker basically making their mark?
Oh. Dude, I think right now is the best time for them to make their mark.
Exactly.
And what's great about this, and I think what's crazy about this, is like we're gonna be getting a hard R-rated John Cena in Suicide Squad, which I can't wait for. But we're gonna get a consistent showing of a hard R-rated like John Cena doing something. It's almost like when like when The Rock kind of got his role, and you're like, yeah, this is the fucking Rock just being what he does, you know, like when he did like the Hobbs and Shaw shit and all that kind of stuff. So this is like the role I think John Cena was kind of made for, like something like this. He's just a jacked, saluting Captain America motherfucker anyways in real life. Might as well just put him in a TV show, give him a gun, and let him kill fucking Nazis.
Yep.
I can't wait, dude. I mean, honestly, like, what I was hoping we could get from John Cena was a Wolfenstein movie starring John Cena as BJ Blazkowicz and just going around and fucking destroying Nazis is what I would want to see.
Dude, that would be awesome, because he looks like fucking BJ Blazkowicz.
Dude, right? But I think that's what we're going to get with this Peacemaker series, man. I'm jazzed for it, dude. King Shark coming in is going to be sick. I think Sean Gunn is going to be doing it. Who's fucking great. He's also playing Weasel in the role. So, which is great, man. Sean Gunn is so cool that he just lets his brother do that shit to him, man. But that's kind of... I don't know much more about this, man. I was kind of shocked as you were when I sent this over to you. I was like, first of all, King Shark. Second of all, John Cena starring in what?
Yeah, exactly. I don't think there's too much more news beyond this, but it's just kind of cool knowing that my HBO Max subscription is getting its money worth pretty soon with Justice League and this and Batman and the fucking Fresh Prince reunion and all that stuff. Oh,
Well,
and
I mean,
the Friends reunion too.
Yep. Well, if you haven't yet, you need to. They added all the DC stuff on there, so Titans is on there now, and
Yeah. Yep.
Reno 9. They added Reno 911. All this other kind of cool stuff that's on the HBO Max now, which is pretty cool. It's kind of fun to go back and check that shit out and watch it. But dude, there was something I was gonna say, and I don't remember what it was, so we'll move on. If I remember, we'll come back to it.
Okay, sounds good. Let's move on then to another piece of news where I was like, "What? I didn't know that they were doing this." I kind of feel like, bless you. I kind of feel like if they're gonna redo quote unquote anything, this probably deserves it the most. But Netflix has announced a live action Assassin's Creed series, which is interesting because Netflix is doing Resident Evil and Assassin's Creed. It's like after they finished with Marvel, now they're dipping into the video game well. So here's the thing: the Assassin's Creed movie with Michael Fassbender was hot garbage, but the scenes that were in the Animus back in the what was it, the Spanish Inquisition, I loved those assassin scenes. I just thought the overall modern day scenes and the overall story was shit. But the scenes back in the day were pretty well done, and Netflix has just such a great track record with adapting these scenes. I mean, just look at all of their Marvel shows. I mean, even Iron Fist, which everyone hated, I still loved. I mean, they take original they take original ideas like Stranger Things and make it into just something spectacular. Yep. So I'm excited to see what they do with Assassin's Creed and Resident Evil for that matter. What do you think about this? Did you ever think you would wake up and read news about an Assassin's Creed series?
No, I didn't. I did not because the movie I heard was so terrible that I just never thought this would happen. But I never even saw it just because
I
don't care. Like it. Yeah, it just never. Video game movies don't do it for me. Sorry, they just don't. Not my thing.
Dude, okay, hold on. We gotta take like a 2-second break because my cat is over here bugging the shit out of me, and I'm gonna feed her real quick.
Go for it. I think I have to sneeze anyways.
Here's the thing. I'm not even gonna edit this part out. So
somebody's at my front door.
And I'm back.
Eagles are getting destroyed. 14-3. Jesus.
Oh,
14-3. And the quarterback rushed for 20 yards on them for a touchdown. Bastard.
If there's one positive that's coming out of 2020 right now, it's the fact that the Bills are 7-2 and in charge of the AFC good. East. My goodness.
They're good. They are. They're good, man. I give them that.
Quick tangent and then we'll come back. They are the kind of good that I remember Brett Favre being, where you watch him and he always somehow seems to kind of win despite playing shitty. Yep. And you're always covering your eyes because he's making those throws where you're like, no, and then it's a touchdown.
We were talking about him on the conference call on Friday, and it's like, dude, he's Josh Allen.
Oh, Josh Allen, yeah.
just from the Bills, and we were just saying, like, dude, Josh Allen is one of those quarterbacks who's the best quarterback in the NFL right now. He's just a beast. Like, he can't be stopped. He's insane. He's one of those quarterbacks who finds a way to win, like a Favre.
Yeah, I just hope he keeps it up because I've been a Bills fan since elementary school, and it's been a minute since we had a good Bills team. So, anyways,
I think you guys got it, man.
I hope so. Right now. I hope so. I mean, all I can hope for now is hey, give me at least one playoff win, man. Just one.
Just give me one, please, man.
Yeah. So we were talking about the Assassin's Creed series.
Yes. So, off of the Assassin's Creed series, what I think Netflix does well is Netflix can draw out a series, and Netflix gives their directors, writers, idea makers free range to do what they want to do. Yep. Assassin's Creed is one of those stories, just like the games, that you have to kind of draw out over time. You have to.
You can't do it in a 2-hour movie.
No, I got Assassin's Creed Valhalla, for instance. I've probably put in 4.5 hours into it right now, and I just got past the open screen, and I'm like, and this is just the intro and all this kind of stuff. So
they could do a different time period for each season.
Yes. And I think that all these video game movies that came out, the problem people were making is that most video games, the reason they're good is because you can play Uncharted for Uncharted 4 is like 32 hours long or something like that. Because
Uncharted 4, no, it was like 15 hours or something. But either way, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm sorry, I'm not Uncharted 4. Jesus, I can't believe I said that. Tomb Raider.
Oh, Tomb Raider. Yeah, I was saying maybe 20
because
hours,
you can do about 30. I think you can do about 30 hours in the Shadow of the Tomb Raider with all the stuff. But
with all the side
but
missions,
it keeps going. Yeah, because there's so much stuff to do. So that's what you want, and you can't do that with 2 hours. And so Assassin's Creed is great because you can draw this out and you can give you a story where you want to see more and you want to see more. So, it's just, I hope it's one of those things that they dump and they don't release weekly because that's terrible. But I don't know, man. I got confidence in Netflix. They haven't really let me down, just like you said.
No, they haven't.
No, they just haven't.
So yeah, no, I'm actually looking forward to this. Probably more so than Resident Evil, just because I like the Tomb Raider franchise, or Tomb Raider. I like the Assassin's Creed franchise more. But yeah, I think it's going to be pretty good just based off of the fact that Netflix is involved. I mean, there's not too many production studios where you can say that, oh, they're involved, it's going to be good.
All right. Netflix has shown that they can do that, and that's
absolutely
awesome.
So, all right, let's move it along then to a little bit of gaming news. I'm trying to blow through all this so we can talk about our new systems.
Dude, absolutely. Go for it. Go for it. That's what I want to do. I want to start talking about the new systems.
So Halo Infinite has kind of been bitten by the curse. I mean, it was supposed to be a launch title, and then, everybody saw the demo, and they were like, and now it got pushed back. Huh?
Oh, you go, brother. Go ahead.
I didn't hear a word you just said. I just heard you in the background going, da, or something.
No, you're good. Go ahead.
Okay, so Halo Infinite, yeah, a lot of shit's been happening to it. So first to get delayed, it was supposed to be like the one launch game for the Xbox Series X, like the one exclusive. It got delayed until, I believe next year sometime. And now we find out that the director of Halo Infinite, Chris Lee, I believe his name was. Yeah, yes. Chris Lee at 343 Industries, he's been with the company for what, like 10 years, 11 years? He left the project. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, this is another director that has left Infinite, and I mean, I don't understand because it's Halo. This is the type of game that's like, it doesn't come out as often as a Call of Duty, but I put them kind of in the same stratosphere where, it's Halo. You just make a new Halo and push it out, and it's going to be Halo. These types of internal issues you always hear about with games like Anthem and whatnot, but you never hear about them with shit like Halo or Call of Duty or Assassin's Creed or whatever. So it's surprising to me that Infinite has had so many issues in development.
Well, I mean, it's not as surprising that they've had a bunch of issues with this, because when they even released some of the gameplay and they were showing the screen footage for Halo Infinite, it wasn't exactly mind-blowing, which leads me to believe, what have they been working on this whole time? So maybe there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that we just aren't aware of.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe.
Because, I mean, and also, too, like, I get it, Halo is Halo, and everybody is like, oh my god, it's Halo. But there's also a lot of bad with Halo, just like you said with Call of Duty. So maybe it's just like, hey, we're going to go ahead and just let you leave and bring in somebody else because they're having creative differences. But
yeah,
dude, they
lost the creative director last year too.
Yeah, this is the second one to leave.
Yeah,
which leads me to believe that there's more going on in the back, and they're not letting the creative directors be quote unquote creative. Maybe I think that's always also too, just my opinion, but been an issue with the Halo games. They're kind of always the same.
Yeah, I agree. So that's actually why I like them, but I agree with you 100%.
So maybe it's just like, hey, look, here's what we want to do. We want to stick to what we've been doing. All right, well, let's just change it and try to add it and make it better. Now we want to stick. Maybe.
Yeah, I think I was thinking along the same lines. I think what's going on is you have one group that's like, this is Halo, don't fuck with the formula that's worked. And you have another group that's like, okay, look, we're launching a brand new system in November. We need something that will blow people's socks off. We need to take Halo and turn it on its head. We need Halo to be a system seller like the original Halo. And then you have that first group going, no, don't fuck with what works. You know,
right.
I think that's what's going on.
And I think that they're gonna have to fuck with what works. Long story short, because
I agree.
It's Microsoft again. They have, and it shows with their console. Microsoft says if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You know, lather, rinse, wash, repeat. Lather, rinse, wash, repeat. That's what they do because it works, and there's nothing wrong with that. Same with the fucking iPhone. The iPhone is the exact same shit that it's been. You know, it works. That's why they don't change it. That's why they just continuously tweak it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's where Microsoft is. Microsoft is becoming the Apple of video games. It's there. It works. We're not going to fuck with it. We're just going to keep tweaking it to make it a little bit better.
Yeah,
and
down
Halo
to all the proprietary parts, too.
Absolutely, and Halo is that bread and butter that they need to try to change with, and I think that they're going to either do that or they're just going to continuously go through creative director after creative director,
which is a recipe for disaster.
Right, and like you mentioned before, like Call of Duty, like there's good Call of Duties out there, but how many ones are just like, oh look, it's another Call of Duty, oh it's the same shit, it's another one. How many, you know, and then. Yeah. Before you have to do something so drastic and change it that somebody wants to play it again or somebody wants to buy it. Like, give me a reason to spend $60 on Call of Duty Cold War, which I'm going to get into when we start talking about games later on from what I got from my brother. But, you know, that's where Halo is. Yes, it's Halo, so everybody wants it, but why? Why do you want it? Like, give me a reason, make it better. So hopefully that's the direction that they're going to push this to become.
In the entire history of Call of Duty, since the very first one that came out for PC way back in the late 90s, I can only count 2 times where the series actually tried to go completely different. And one is when they went into the modern setting with the first Modern Warfare. Yeah. And the second time is when they added zombies.
Yeah.
And that's it. The rest of the time, they just dipped from that well until fans went no more. And then they went, all right, we'll switch it up. Which, you know, I guess is just kind of how things work in entertainment, whether it's movies, TVs, music, whatever. You just do what works, and, you know, the true innovators are far and few in between. And the bulk of it is just the familiar. I mean, as much as I love Marvel movies, I mean, how many risks has Marvel taken? None. And they don't need to. They 100% do not need to.
Absolutely. So, absolutely. Yeah. They just don't have to. So, but that's why we're also applauding Marvel for taking these huge risks with She-Hulk and Miss Marvel and WandaVision.
Yep.
So you know, that's
we'll
where
have
I'm
to wait and
hoping
see how that plays out.
Yeah, but you know, 313 and Halo and stuff, they need to take that risk. They need to take that chance and make something happen. And you know, I mean, people were like, "Oh my God, look, it's Halo! Look at the 3-dimensional maps and the kind of open worldness of it." Other than that, it's Halo.
Yeah, I think Halo also has. I think the Halo franchise itself also has kind of. It's both a blessing and a curse. I mean, and Call of Duty doesn't have to worry about this necessarily, but the Halo franchise has to also deal with this heavily invested story universe that they've set up that spans across video games, direct-to-video releases, comics, books, and everything that all ties in. It's kind of like Star Wars, you know? It has to all tie into this canon. So whereas Call of Duty can go completely apeshit and do a zombies mode during the Cold War or whatever, you know, Halo kind of has to stick within the parameters of the universe that they themselves created and established. So, you know, when you were talking about, oh, it's an open world now and da-da-da and all that, you know, all of us will look at it and be like, well, that's not really innovative. There's a ton of open world games. But at the same time, they can't go completely out of the realm of their world that they've established. So I kind of get some of the issues of why they're having so many troubles. I don't like it. I kind of get it.
Well, I mean, yeah, and again, they'll figure it out, and it'll come to grips because you have to decide for, you know, I mean, just for how long until you actually have to make a change. And you know what? Yeah. They will figure it out. And I think that Halo will be better for it. Maybe they'll look back on some of their other games that they made that that where they made a change and they weren't good changes and they didn't like, the reception was terrible or people didn't like them. So who knows, man? I mean, for me personally, I could give zero fucks about Halo. It's not even on my radar, but there are people who care, and we're here to give them the news on that.
Yep, I'm one of them.
There you go. That's
love
why
the
we're
Halo
here.
universe. So, hey, let's move on to the Elder Scrolls 6. Now, I mean, we've been waiting for a Skyrim sequel pretty much since Skyrim came out, and we know these are the types of games that only come out basically once every generation. So we knew it was going to be a long wait. But the Elder Scrolls 6, with Bethesda being purchased by Microsoft now, we don't know if it's going to be a console exclusive. I highly doubt it will be, but we don't know that yet. But what we do know is it is coming to Game Pass on day one. So those of us who are Game Pass subscribers, which is a lot of us, pretty much will be getting it for free, which is pretty goddamn awesome. And Todd Howard, the head of Bethesda, has confirmed this in an interview with GameIndustry.biz. I mean, he, it's basically a go. So that's pretty insane that we're going to be getting the next Elder Scrolls game basically free. Not free, but free.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's free. It's dope, dude.
Yeah. I mean, it's $15 a month. I mean, it's,
yeah. And this is one of the perks of again, this is where Microsoft is going to draw in a shit ton of people, because you're going to be able to get a Xbox, Series X or from Xbox with Game Pass for $34.99 a month.
Yeah.
Or you can go out and buy an Xbox. Right. So, I mean, do you know how many people are going to take advantage of that come Christmas time this year if there's consoles available or wherever they can? Because, and then by that, you're locking these people into Game Pass. They're going to have these systems paid off in 2 years, and then you're going to launch more games like, we've got Bethesda, we've got Elder Scrolls, and you're going to continuously keep people in. And yeah, absolutely. The EA Pass playing Battlefront and Battlefront 2 and Madden. Like, I mean, I do not give, again, I give zero fucks about sports games. I don't care about Madden at all, but I download Madden 20 to check it out, and I'm like, I might play Madden some more than you might get online. You know what I'm saying? So, like, dude, it makes sense for them to release this because they want people to get on Game Pass. And I think that we're going to see more and more and more and more and more games get released on Game Pass, because you can give somebody $60 now, or they can give you $15 10 times. Pick your poison.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll take the $15 over 10 times.
Yeah, I agree. It's mind blowing to see these business deals that Microsoft has made just with their Game Pass system. Now, on the topic of the Elder Scrolls 6, there was another blurb where Todd Howard confirmed that Elder Scrolls 6 will be using procedural generation, which is, the tech that randomly generates things. For example, in No Man's Sky, no two players will ever have a similar experience because it randomly generates galaxies and planets and animals and stuff. And a lot of people took that quote to mean, they assumed it means, the world of Elder Scrolls 6 will be procedurally generated. We don't like that. But Todd Howard has confirmed that no, the entirety of the world will not be randomized like a No Man's Sky or anything like that. It will just be things, like elements in game. For example, like animals popping up, or maybe like, different types of foliage or whatever. So, Elder Scrolls 6 is confirmed to not be completely randomized like people thought originally. That was just another blurb in this in this article. But
even then, though, I don't think many people are gonna really care about that.
Now, you would be surprised at the hoopla it created online when that quote was first announced. I mean, people are fucking stupid online.
Well, people are fucking stupid everywhere. I would be surprised. I think they're even dumber online, actually.
Looking at the world today, it's hard to imagine that, but yep.
Yeah. Dude, so, dude, I'm excited, man. I like this. I like the fact that Bethesda is owned by Microsoft. I've said on this podcast before, Bethesda is one of my favorite studios. I love Wolfenstein with a passion. I love Doom with a passion. I love the Elder Scrolls. I just love the stuff that they've done. So the fact that they're owned by Microsoft and they're getting backing, and these games are going to be Fallout, yes, thank you, good God. The fact that these games are getting the backing of Microsoft and they're going to be built with the developers of the fucking system, it's just going to be mind-blowing to get a Doom, like Doom Eternal looks beautiful on the Series X, and I love it. But once these patches start rolling out, and you're playing Doom Eternal in 4K 60 frames refresh rate, you're gonna fucking piss your pants. And that's what I'm waiting for.
And all of these are going to be in Game Pass because they're all first party now.
Right.
That's insane.
Right, and that's what and Bethesda is one of those companies where they're made to be big, bright, bold, bloody, gory for like their Doom and those games, and then they're made to be these very hyper realistic like Fallout games are like these, like Bethesda has a look, and Bethesda I feel is made for 4K 60 frames per second. Just they're made for that. So it's exciting that we're going to get this Elder Scrolls and we're getting this backing, and that Microsoft is throwing money at it, because we're going to get stuff that's going to be mind-blowing. And when we get into the reviews of the systems, we'll talk more about that. But we're just scratching the surface on, we're not even week one into these systems yet. So I'm just stoked to see what we're going to get from just Elder Scrolls 6 and how they're going to do that, and what Bethesda's going to keep doing with Xbox.
Yeah. Yeah,
and EA Sports. Yeah. I'm sorry, EA games as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's a whole new world with it being rolled into Game Pass. I mean, this is huge. This might be as big as the Bethesda acquisition.
Dude, absolutely. And I'm sitting here, and the next topic that we have here, if you don't mind me gearing into that one here.
Of course not. Go for it.
Is we're looking at Mass Effect, and that's what we're going to be getting spring 2021. I fucking love Mass Effect, dude. It was so great. And
Mass
now
Effect
this is
2
included.
is still my vote for the greatest game of all time, hands down. I've been saying it since it came out.
And how many people haven't played Mass Effect, haven't really got into these games, but now we're going to be fucking getting them already included with Game Pass.
And this has been something that people have been asking for forever, pretty much since the last generation launched. People have been wanting a Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3 remaster. I mean, we got Andromeda, and they, they kind of improved it as best as they can. But I mean, Andromeda is still Andromeda. It's not, it's not anything great. Yeah. So it certainly isn't the core Mass Effect series. So having these redone to take advantage of these new systems, I couldn't even tell you how excited I am. These are my favorite. These are hands down some of my favorite games of all time.
Dude, they're great fucking games, and this right here, and this is where again, Microsoft and EA games are fucking geniuses, because the Mass Effect coming out with the trilogy and re-releasing it, is it something that everybody's going to want to go spend $60-$70 on? No, but it's something that I'll spend $15 a month on to go through and play sporadically, because it's going to look beautiful, it's going to play fucking great, and it's an engaging story that's fun to do. Like, I mean, it's just so cool that this is where we're going to get, and I'm stoked about this, man. And this just leads back into, giving away games, or, quote unquote, giving away games on Game Pass. I mean, think about it. Day one, we're going to have Mass Effect to play.
Yeah, and it's fucking Mass Effect. It's not some scrub game like, whatever. It's no offense to all those games, because they have developers that work hard too, but it's fucking Mass Effect.
Absolutely. Right. So, I mean, it's just cool to think that this is where we are right now in this generation of games. So, like, I'm not surprised that Elder Scrolls isn't even though we're going to have to pay for it, it's going to be coming out with the Game Pass. And it also leads me to believe, I'm not surprised that there's another creative director that's gone from Halo, because they don't have to rush Halo. They can take another year and a half with Halo, because guess what?
And we're still going
to be fucking paying for Game Pass. Exactly. So you know what? We're going to fire somebody and bring somebody else in. So all of these just line up so perfectly that it just shows that Microsoft knows where they're investing their money. We're not going to pay somebody to not do what we want to do, because we know what works. So we're going to push back our bread and butter, because we've already had the largest fucking launch day in the history of our company. We already have all these people signed up for Game Pass, and they want Halo. So guess what? We'll wait another year for, the 1 year anniversary. We'll launch Halo, and we'll have the game that we want, because you're going to play Mass Effect for the next 6 months, and you're going to fucking play you're gonna play Assassin's Creed, and you're gonna play Star Wars Battlefront 2, and you're gonna play Madden. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, I'm excited.
Fuck,
what do you want to talk
excited.
about first? Let's talk about the Series X first, since that launched first. Sound good?
Let's take a quick commercial break, because I've got to go tinkle.
Go do that. and I will be right here when you get back.
Okay, I'll be back. Give me like 30 seconds.
Sounds good. All right, we are back from our break, and Series X, man, let's talk about it.
Ladies first.
Ha 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 ha! Funny.
All right, man. Let's see. First of all, first impressions. The box for the Series X is the best gaming system box I've ever opened. It was like being presented a fucking award, man. The way the dude, it was so cool, man. Like I didn't want to take it out of the box, man.
Well, especially with how shitty Amazon packaged the cardboard box. I mean, I'm telling you, these are $500 systems, and when I opened my Amazon box, they didn't even have those airbags in there. It was just a crumpled up piece of fucking like wrapping paper shoved in there. The box was twice as big as the Xbox box, and that thing was just fucking sliding around in there. I mean, thank God Microsoft packaged their actual box so well.
Yes, man. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, what the fuck did they... Dude, I thought Ace Ventura dropped my package off. I was like, what the fuck happened to this box? It's beat the shit here.
Yeah.
So, dude, I love the Series X. It's exactly what I had said 10 minutes ago. It's their bread and butter. It's the rinse, wash, lather, repeat. It works. It is a big, bulky bitch of a system. I love the way it feels. It feels like just a fucking tower of power, man. I guess is how I feel about it. Love it. What you got? What are you thinking?
Okay, first off, it was actually smaller than I thought. When you see it on screen, it looks like this monolith, and then sure, they've had pictures of it next to the PS5, which is a chunky boy, to quote the kids, but they've had pictures of the two of them, and compared to the PS5, the Series X does look considerably smaller, but it still looked big. So when I opened the box, I was like, oh, this is a lot smaller than I thought. Still big, but a lot smaller. But I love the simplicity. And I've said this once, I've said this twice, I've said this 100 times. If you're going to design a console, you need to either give me something that disappears or something that's so batshit crazy looking that it's like the centerpiece of my entertainment system. And it's just crazy that I have one of each. I have one that basically you wouldn't look twice at because it's just a black box, and then you have a second one that looks like, I don't know, looks like fucking Eve from WALL-E.
Looks like a stormtrooper's helmet. It's phenomenal.
Looks like, yeah, exactly. Dude. So I love, and we'll get into this when we talk about the PS5 as well. But I love that so far I've had the Series X since what? When did we get it? It was Tuesday.
Tuesday, yeah.
I love that we've had it since Tuesday, and I have not had one issue with it yet. I haven't had it shutting down on me. I haven't had it crash on me like my PS5 has. I haven't had to go on Reddit to research why something has happened, and only to find out, oh, you can't put it into rest mode. I haven't had any of that shit happen. I just booted it up. I scanned the code, and it transferred everything over. It took 3 seconds. I didn't even have to set it up like, we talked about it before. One of my loves is to set up a new device. That was taken from me, and I don't even care.
I know, me too. Damn it.
Yeah. And I just went in, I downloaded Assassin's Creed, I downloaded the patches for Borderlands, for No Man's Sky, for, whatever. Yep. All these games, and I've just been playing it, and everything works, everything looks great. I mean, just like Microsoft's whole strategy with, we're going to push the same thing, even down to the UI. It's the exact same UI as the one that was on the Xbox One. I love that they're pushing the whole it works, so this is what we're going to stick with until it stops working.
Dude, absolutely. I've only had one issue with the Xbox, like I told you. It seemed like it just froze. Yeah. It was kind of weird. Yeah, I don't know what was going on with it. I just unplugged it for a few seconds, plugged it back in, haven't had a single issue. But again, though, I was moving stuff from the console to the hard drive, from the hard drive to the console. I was trying to do as much as I could at one time with this thing just to see what I could do with it. So I wasn't upset about it. Dude, when I first got it, I was quick resuming and going back and forth between Gears 5, Doom Eternal, and Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and it was seamless. It was great. I never thought I would use quick resume, but dude, that shit's badass, dude. Like, it's fucking dope. It's cool, man. I really like it.
But you may as well use it because they have 40 gigs set aside to cash up for that. And I mean, it's not something you can turn off, so it's there.
Right. So it's like, I just, never thought I would do it that many times, but, I went back a couple days later, game was still there working. So, dude, it's great. And what's cool about it is, okay, so I got it, and I hooked it up through my soundbar. I have a Dolby Digital, I have a Yamaha YAS 207 BT soundbar that's got Dolby Digital DTS-X in it, right? So I'm thinking, okay, cool.
Yeah.
But apparently it's a virtual format, so it's something you can turn on. But anyways, though, so I hooked up the Xbox as the pass-through, and for the first time ever, I'm getting Dolby Digital Surround Sound Plus out of my soundbar. So I am getting some of the greatest sound, and I've told you before, anybody who listens to this podcast knows that I probably scream half the time when we're talking. I can't hear. I've said this before. I got really bad hearing loss, so just fucking deal with it, all right, assholes? But I was getting sound. I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm just starting Assassin's Creed, and there's a part where they're at the fire, and they're all kind of talking, and I paused the Xbox, and I had to turn over and look over my shoulder because I swore to you there were people laughing in my kitchen. And my wife's like, what's that? I was like, dude, I thought I heard people, because like the sound was so encompassing, and it's something that I never thought of, playing games, because I'll wear headphones or I play at night, so the volume's kind of low. But like Xbox nailed it with the sound and with the graphics. And again, Microsoft knows what they're doing, and it's just, it works. It's like the Apple of gaming systems. Like you said, I plugged it in, I scanned my phone, and within 3 minutes I was set up to the point where I was like, I don't know what the fuck I'm supposed to do now. I guess I can play a game.
Yeah.
But what I do like about it is the fact that, so what I did was, over the past couple days, is I put all of the games that I like to play on my external drive, on my Xbox, on my One X. And then I left my kids' games on the Xbox. So when the Series X came, as soon as I plugged it in, I plugged in my external, and at the snap of a finger, I was able to play the games.
That's exactly what happened. You plugged it in, it goes, hey, you just plugged in an external, and all my games were there. All my games were launchable. I didn't have to fuck around at all or anything, and boom, ready to go.
Nope. And I was able to play the games off of the hard drive, and they looked great. They played great. There was no issues. I had... so my enhanced games I obviously have on the Xbox, Assassin's Creed, and there's another one too that I got. Bright Memory. Don't get it. Don't.
Yeah, it's a glorified demo. It's only
$8,
but it's a glorified demo, and it is not smooth. It's fun for 10 minutes, but it definitely could have been optimized better. It looks nice though.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, and maybe they'll get a patch for it. But Gears 5 is on there. So there's some games that are Series X optimized that are saved on there. And I told you, I was like, oh, fuck, man, my Xbox is already full. But once I kind of dug in, I realized that I don't have to do that. If it's not Series X or S optimized, I can play it off of the hard drive.
Yep.
Which is fucking dope, because most of the Game Pass games and the stuff I'm going to download, they're not optimized right now. And I think
they
that
still look
for
better.
Xbox... They do, and that's what's so crazy. So the fact that Xbox is like, look, this system is going to make it work better. Plug in your shit that works. Just all you have to do is buy the system and everything. It's just, again, it's the fucking Apple of gaming systems. It just works. It is plug and play with the stuff that I bought last year and the stuff that I'm going to buy in 3 years. And I love that. I love that my Elite 2 controller synced up and all of my settings carried over. I didn't have to reprogram my controller. Like, it's just there. My headphones automatically were connected and set up and ready to go. Kudos to
on the
Xbox.
topic of the
Kudos.
controller, that was so fucking great when I ran into that moment where I'm playing with my new controller, and because I have the play and charge kit, and then the controller dies, so I have to plug it in. And so I walked over, plugged it in, and I whipped out my old Xbox One controller, turned it on, and just continued playing.
Yep. No problems.
Yeah, I have 2 Xbox One controllers and 1 Series X controller, which means right there I have 120 hours of battery life.
Yep.
So
well, I got the I just got the Elite. I have the Elite 2, but I just traded in my Elite 2 and got a new one because it was drifting, which was fucking frustrating.
That's right.
My controllers were and my right trigger was sticking. It was a pain in the fucking ass. But dude, I haven't had to charge it yet, and it's just, dude, again, Xbox. And what's cool about Xbox is that they're all black. I love it. I love that look. I love how it's all black and it matches. So the controller's all black, the system's all black. You know, it looks cool. I've posted on Instagram and Twitter just my charging case, my controller, my headphones, my Xbox. It's just all black, everything. It's fucking beautiful. And then the exact same thing I can say about the PS5 too.
Yeah, on the topic of headphones, I need to interject for a second. The headphones my Atmos headphones that worked with the Xbox One, because it's wireless, so I need that dongle and everything. No issues whatsoever. I plugged it in, turned it on. It goes headset connected. Everything worked just fine.
Yeah, dude, it's same with my Lucid Sound LS35X that I got. I literally put them on, turned them on, and within seconds they were already connected and they were ready to go. Yep. Like Xbox,
it's just insane how smooth it is.
It is. It really is. I am blown away with it. I think that I'm very, very happy with the next gen, with what we got right now. I think that this is great, and we haven't even hit week 1 with this stuff yet. I have literally put in 9 hours total on my Xbox. I mean, and that's just transferring shit around and playing with it. That's not even playing games.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've done the equivalent of half a test drive with it. So, you know, I mean, and I'm already just blown away at the comfort, the word, what's the fucking word that I'm looking for here?
The familiarity?
Where it's just familiarity. God damn it, I was going to say similarities, but yeah, the familiarity of it, and just how it's like, you know, hey, I've been driving this 2000 Mustang GT, and then you upgrade to, you know, a 2020. You know what I mean? Like, it's so familiar, but it's so much better.
That's what I've been telling people. I had a friend ask me, well, what's the difference between, you know, what would you say is the biggest difference between the feel of the PS5 and the Series X? And I said, look, the Series X is, for all intents and purposes, it's upgrading your PC, and that's it. I upgraded my PC just a few months ago. I upgraded to a nice new SSD, a new graphics card and everything. When I turned it on, it was my same PC. My wallpapers were there. My icons were still on the desktop in the same place as everything, but everything was just fucking faster. And that's exactly what the Series X is. It's an upgraded PC.
And it's glorious. And it
is glorious.
It's cool, and you know, I've never really been a big Xbox guy. I've always been my heart and soul lie with PlayStation. But this to me, the Series X is phenomenal. I don't know how many good things I can say about it. I haven't had excuse me, a bad issue with it yet. It's just it works, man. It's cool. And the upgrades that they've made to the games, that right there is something that I like, because you can play an old game from 5 years ago and it looks better.
Yeah, speaking of upgraded games, have you given Forza Horizon 4 a shot yet after it got its upgrade patch?
No, I finally got it downloaded. I was going to play it last night, but I did not, because I wanted to put more time into Assassin's Creed, but I haven't been able to touch my consoles because my fucking kids have stolen my PS5.
Well, Forza...
So it's been...
Go ahead.
No, you're up.
Oh, I was going to say Forza Horizon 4 used to, on my One X, it would have a performance mode and a resolution mode. So you either go for FPS or you go for 4K. Now, after the upgrade patch downloaded, you go into the video settings, that option's gone, because it just runs at a 4K 60 FPS now. And wow. Holy, I know there's a Digital Foundry video about how, okay, yes, even though you're at 4K 60 FPS, they took out some shadows, they took out some whatever. Yeah. I don't fucking care, because it looks so glorious on my screen. Same thing with Borderlands 3.
Yeah, see, for someone like me, I don't play Forza. I never have. I did download it when it first was on. When I first got Game Pass, I was like, I'll check this out, and then I never really played it. I was blown away at how beautiful it was, but I never really played it. I'm not a big racing guy, but I want to see visually how beautiful this is. And
I think that's the game you need to have to show off the new system, whether you play it or not.
Okay. Well, it is downloaded.
That's the game where I would be like, hey, Dad, look, this is what the new Xbox can do. I will boot up Forza Horizon 4.
Well, see, for me, I would boot up Assassin's Creed because that scene that I sent you last night that I shut off my phone of just the shadows and everything going over the water from night to day and day back into night. Dude, I'm sitting there on the couch and my wife looks at it and she's like, "Whoa, that looks real." And I'm like, "I know, dude. That's what you pay for, is for that right there." Where she's like, "Whoa."
Valhalla is so gorgeous. And I know Odyssey and Origins probably had really impressive draw distances as well, because the 1X is still a powerful system. But my God, I mean, climbing up onto a synchronization point in Valhalla on my Series X and just seeing the draw distance not popping in miles and miles and miles into the distance, and it's all there. I remember it wasn't that long ago where developers had to kind of fudge around with that and put fog in or something to kind of fake you out, so they didn't have to program in the draw distance all that much. And I remember games like where you're running around and stuff in the distance would pop in. And now, I'm sitting there with Valhalla, and I mean, you have fucking 20 square miles of in-game land that's just there.
Yeah, just hanging out, dude. It's so cool, and it's so fast. It is. Again, we have been hashtag blessed at the end of 2020 that we were able to kind of get both systems, and to be able to do almost a direct comparison from the 1X to the Series X, and from the PS4 to the PS5, and from the Series X to the PS5 is crazy. And
it really is.
I don't know, like, I love the Series X. I feel like I could talk about it all day, but I haven't put as much time into it as I would like to. And that's where we've also been a little bit on the first world problem side, because I have a whole other system that I'm putting a lot of time into as well. And so it's difficult, but my initial impressions just for having the Series X for a couple days, it's great. It feels like an adult system. When I play the Series X, and I feel like this is daddy's system. This isn't for the kids. This isn't the one that I'm going to play when everybody's hanging out in the living room. This is, hey, I need some time by myself. I'm going to put on this Viking game. I'm going to cut some heads off. I'm going to play these adult games. The Series X feels like the adult console. That's just the best way I can think to describe it. This is the one you're like, yeah, this is my man console. This is the one for the big boys.
That's a good description,
I guess. Like, I don't know. I don't know if it's just the games or the way it looks or the fact that it's all black or whatever it is. But when I see the Series X, I'm like, yes, this is the adult in the house. This is mine. Nobody touched this.
I know what you mean. Yeah. So overall impressions. A couple of days into the Series X, I think both of us are happy with what we got. We're impressed. It's again, Microsoft did what was familiar, and it works, and I'm perfectly okay with that. I'm 100% happy with that. Other than the fact that everybody is on at the same time and the downloads suck ass, that's not really Microsoft's problem. Other than that, I don't think I have one complaint. Oh, I do have one complaint. I wish there were more preloaded dynamic themes. That's it.
Yeah, okay.
There was the one that's the default, and it looks nice, but I remember the PS4 launched with like 5 different dynamic themes you could choose for your background. I just wish I had a couple more to choose from. But for now, I don't give a shit. It's a very small complaint, so that's that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm perfectly satisfied.
I haven't even tinkered with any of that stuff, which I need to go to, because before I always had like a custom picture in the background and stuff like that. So I got to dig more into that to set it up.
Well, for right now, you're stuck with one dynamic theme or all your other original backgrounds from your 1X that you moved over. So it's I don't even care about that. Spend right.
10 seconds on that damn screen.
Yep. So shall we move on to the PS5?
I think we should. I think we should move on to
the PS5 for me is spectacular when it works. Because
hearing that,
anybody who has a PS5 now, I'm sure, has either jumped on Reddit or Google or whatever and has run into these crashing issues that happen. And a lot of people have been extremely unlucky, and their consoles have been completely bricked. Now, granted, the squeaky wheel gets the oil, you know? So what you're hearing online is probably what? 0.01% of total consoles sold. But they're the loudest ones because these are the ones that have the problems. Now, for me, I have a digital edition. My console hasn't been bricked yet, you know, knock on wood. But I got it, Friday? So Friday, Saturday, and today. At least once, and at least 3 times on Friday, my console has gone to the black screen, and I had to force restart it, and then it says data corrupted, we have to repair. Which is a really scary thing to see from a brand new console.
Yeah.
So, and you know, you jump on Reddit and you do a little bit of research, and you're starting to figure out, well, rest mode is broken, so you can't have any games that aren't completely shut down when you turn off, when you switch to another game or turn off your console. And you can't turn your you can't leave your console in rest mode. You got to turn it off completely, which is not a big deal because it boots in like 8 seconds. But
yeah, well, I mean,
these are pretty major problems.
Oh, 100%. And I think I had it happen one time. I had some weird screen pop up, and I was like, "Oh, I don't like this screen." But I haven't had it happen since, and I'm just curious if it's more on the digital side than it is on the disk drive side.
If you jump on Reddit, it looks like these issues, whatever the issues are, whether it's crashing, whether it's bricking, whether it's games force stopping or whatever, it seems to be an issue with either one. I don't think it has anything to do with the optical drive, you know, being present or not.
Yeah.
It's this. I'm led to believe this is a software issue and it'll be patched out, but Sony needs to do it fast because I really don't want to brick my system and have to send it in for a warranty repair. But it seems like there's something fundamentally broken about rest mode. All this seems to center on rest mode. You can't leave a game in rest mode. You can't do a quick resume, switch to another game while one is still open, and you can't put your console into rest mode. You got to shut it down completely. So that seems to be the underlying issue. I don't know what it is, but all I know is, look, I just got the system. I've already had to force restart it and repair my hard drive like 6 times. That's kind of an issue.
Yeah.
But when it works, good Lord, do I love the system.
Dude, you're right, man. Like I said, I had that happen one time, but it's a brand new system, so that shouldn't happen any fucking time at all. Like,
and
so
I understand new tech. This shit happens. This is kind of the price you pay for being a day one adopter. But at the same time, you know, I'm getting nightmares of the Xbox 360 Red Rings in death. I mean, I went through 7 systems. I had to send it back 7 times for a free repair, which is fine. They repaired it for free, but that's still 7 times. I'll never forget that.
Yeah, I did it 4 times. I'll never forget. Just they send you the box. It's got the foam padding, so you can put your 360 in there. If you had their hard drive, you had to remove it. Yes. Oh god, it was a fucking pain in the ass, and it'd be gone for 6 days.
3 weeks.
I hated it so much. Yeah, you're just like, give it back. I don't care anymore. So, but I think that the way these systems are set up now, that all of this can be easily fixed with a software patch,
I hope so, because I will shit a brick if this ends up being a hardware issue, because then you have to send it back. You know?
Right.
And there's a supply issue right now, so it's not like if you send it back, you're even guaranteed to get it back anytime soon.
Anytime this year. So
yeah, exactly.
I mean, I've made it a habit to just close all my games when I'm done playing with them, and it's something that I do it on the Xbox too. I've always done it that way. I don't know why, but I'm the kind of guy who, like, when I'm done with something, I go through and I close every single app on my phone as well, and I close every single web. Yeah. And every single web browser that I'm using, like, I just close everything, delete it. That's just me. I like everything to be clean and empty. I want it to be optimized and fast.
Yep.
So that's just me. So to me, it's not a big deal. I'll close all my games. I don't really care about the quick resume, because, you know, I can put in Spider-Man Morales, I can take out Sackboy, and I can be up and playing in less than a minute. Like, I don't care.
And, you know, the one thing I really don't like is how many steps you now have to go through just to shut a game off. You can't long press the PS button anymore. Nothing comes up. You have to push it once, then you have to go down into the control panel thing, and then you have to push start, close game, go back to the control panel, go to power, go to shutdown. It's, you know, again, first world problem, but hey, one generation ago, or 1 week ago, I should say, I was able to long press my PS button and just go into rest mode.
But see, now this is where it's
presses.
going to lead us into this conversation where the PlayStation is clearly the Samsung and Android of the community, because there is more steps, but you had just talked about this the other day. There is so much more we can do with the PS5. It's so much more open. There's so much more tinkering you can do with it. So that's where you're going to run into these problems like you do. Like, yeah, you're going to have a Samsung that you can open and do a million things with, and better screen and better processor, but you're going to have a few issues. And in spite of those issues, right, and in spite of those issues, you still feel like you have a better product. And I think that's where I feel with the PS5. I've had that hard drive issue pop up one time. I haven't had it happen again. The controller on the PS5 is the greatest innovation in video games I think I've ever experienced.
Yeah, let's talk about that, because my God.
Dude, I did not expect it to be that great. And what's cool is that my wife doesn't play video games, she doesn't really care, but she sat on the couch last night and played Sackboy for like an hour and a half and was smiling and laughing the whole time. Yeah, just because like the controller, and she was like, oh, that was so cool. It just felt different, and it makes you invested in the game more. And when I played Astro's Playroom the first time and feeling the vibrations and, you know, zipping up a zipper or launching out or walking on glass or sand or water or the hardwood or hearing the controller speak, just... Dude, the innovation in that right there. And this is going to sound bad, but I played my PlayStation all night last night. I played it a few minutes this morning. I picked up my Xbox, and I was like, oh, this is boring now. Like, oh, come on. I just got a couple vibrations here and there. That sucks.
You know, so I think Astro's Playroom is the best pack-in with a console since Wii Sports.
Oh, dude, absolutely, man.
Because it's the thing that shows off the capabilities.
Right. There's a part where you're walking across a little rope and this giant fan turns on and starts blowing you to the side, and only like the left side of the controller vibrates, and as you walk you can feel the strength of the vibration go down the handle like as you're getting past it, and you can feel like the graininess of the sand. And have you done the part where you're the gorilla and you have to like climb up the wall?
Yes. Yeah, I've put a ton of time in Astro's Playroom, and it's insane just walking from metal to grass to sand to whatever. How different it feels in your hands.
Or just feeling the tension on the trigger buttons, how the system will change it where you're drawing back a bow and arrow, or like, you know, the triggers are nice and loose until you start playing the game, then you can feel the haptics and how hard it is to squeeze it and stuff. That, dude, it's mind-blowing how much that controller enhances a video game.
You know, the only thing I wish for the Spider-Man games, because once you start playing it, you realize, that the web swinging and the triggers, yes, you have to squeeze it harder towards the end, but you start to realize it's the same thing no matter how you web swing. And I get it. Miles Morales was, developed with the PS4 in mind too, so they probably didn't put as much work into the haptics and the adaptive triggers as, say, Astro, for example. So I kind of wish it did more, but it does feel really cool to have to squeeze harder towards the end of your web swing.
Yes, and that threw me off the first time when I started playing it because I wasn't used to it. So I just, like, as soon as I felt the tension, I thought I was already squeezing the controller at the end. So my web swinging was just dog shit. I was just nowhere. And I was like, what the fuck is going on? So then I looked and I was like, oh shit, I have to squeeze harder. Okay, I get it now. So, but dude, it's cool. And Miles Morales is fucking tastic.
So gorgeous, so fun,
so pretty. Exactly, it's so gorgeous, so much fun. The story is great, the voice acting is great. It really is like watching excuse me, it's like putting in it's like watching a fucking 4K movie. It's crazy how
interactive
smooth
movie
it is.
basically.
Right, and when you're up on top of the buildings and you're looking down, when you played Spider-Man, you could see the ground and stuff, but it was kind of washed out and there wasn't much detail. But on
and there were like two cars.
Yeah, and when you're doing this, it is like you're over New York City. Like, you can see the roofs and the different color and the snow and the shadows and do everything. And And that Into the Multiverse Into the Spider-Verse is the coolest fucking costume.
Dude.
I'm never changing out of it. I'll never leave it. And then the boost you get at the beginning where you walk and everything looks like him from the movie, it really is like the fucking movie, man. It's so cool. And I know that we hyped up the Xbox and there's been some problems with the PlayStation, but dude, I've spent more time with my PlayStation, and this is where I feel like it's more of my family system. But with Sackboy, we sat down last night. Yeah. My daughters played it together for a couple hours. My wife played it with my youngest last night. I sat up this morning with an hour and a half and played it with my kids. It is a perfect launch game where you can get the entire family involved. It is so much fun. It is nothing like any other Little Big Planet. I shit you not, it reminds me of Mario, like a Mario Brothers game is exactly what it is. Like
nice.
Super Mario Brothers 2 or fucking I can't even think of the one, but you know
Super
how
Mario
they got
3D World is what it reminds me of.
Yes, that's it. God damn it! Thank you so much, Super Mario 3D World, because and you have your 3D map that you got to walk on and go into, and it is just. It's so well done. There's so many hidden secrets. There's levels that got good music. It's bright. It's colorful. It takes such good use of the haptics to play it. And dude, it's so cool. It is. And I didn't think I would like it this much. And I just want to play it more and more and more. And I find myself just being drawn to the PS5.
Yeah, I mean, my kids are coming over after swim class today, and I have a Series X and I have a PS5. But I guarantee you, that PS5 is going to be the first one they play because they're going to be playing Astro and they're going to be playing Bugsnax, which, by the way, have you played Bugsnax yet?
Yes.
That game is weird as shit.
Dude, it is. I have no idea what the fuck is going on. And at first I was like, oh, cool, this is like a Pokemon game or like a Pokemon Snap because you got a camera, but no, you got to catch these things.
Yeah.
And then wait a second. Then you got to feed it to this weird beast who then turns into what it eats, and wait, it wants to turn into strawberry hands, and then I gotta catch a Frieder and a hamburger, and there's ketchup plants. What the fuck is going on? It's
I know beyond a shadow of a doubt the developers, and good on you guys. I know the developers went in one day for that first pre-production meeting. They're like, well, what game are we gonna do next? Every single last ass one of them did some LSD. And then they went, dude, what if we could do this? And then that's how Bugsnax came into fruition. I'm positive that's what happened because this game is the weirdest fucking thing.
I think they did the drugs in a room and they all passed out while Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs was on. And then they woke up and they're like, dude, I had a fucking nightmare where I was a badger and you were a wolf, and then we were eating these weird things. And oh, dude, that's the only way to describe what happened to these people. But Bugsnax is cool. I'm glad it was a free game though, because
me too. I would never have bought it.
No, my kids got bored with it pretty soon because it kind of became repetitive, and then it was just like, all right, well, what else is there? It was what it was, but it's weird, man. It's definitely I'm gonna eat these caps right here. I might smoke a couple bowls and let's see what happens. But
well, I mean, they really turned it into exactly what the catchphrase was for the series, which is "You are what you eat."
Yeah, and
that's literally what happens.
It is, and well, it's not multiplayer either, which I think is kind of weird because that'd be a good multiplayer game. So for it to be a solo player, I don't want to sit there and watch that. That's fucking weird, man. I got other things to do.
Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna fucking buy. Sackboy.
Dude, Sackboy, it's just so much fun, man.
You've said so much about it. I just think I need to get it.
Dude, and it's just so colorful and so much fun, and I'm just smiling playing it, dude.
And I love Little Big Planet, so.
And what's cool is there's so many costumes and there's so much cool stuff and there's so much customization, and it's my youngest said today, and I got her Little Big Planet 3, and she goes, Little Big Planet was okay, but this new one is way better. It's not as boring and it's much more just fun. And I'm like, that's it, man. It's just fucking
it's just a
fun.
straight platformer.
It is, and it's, dude, it's so much fun, and we can even play online. If you get it, we can play online together, dude, and you can go through and you can jump in and out of levels, and they got co-op levels, and dude, it's a blast, man. It really is.
Well, I just bought it on my phone right now, so yeah.
Ooh, talking you into spending money. You're welcome, because I own fucking Sony, so that works out for me.
So have you put any time into Spider-Man Remastered yet?
No, because I was going to, but then once I first heard about those issues, I was afraid it was the Spider-Man game, so I just didn't touch it.
I really don't think it has anything to do with the game. I'm pretty positive. I mean, not like I'm some sort of development genius or anything, but I'm pretty sure it's a system level problem. But holy shit, does it look good. And I don't really even care about the new Peter Parker face. I got used to it in like 3 seconds. And
yeah,
just, it feels like a new game again. It feels like a brand new game again. Even though I've played the old one twice, I've platinumed it and everything. So I guarantee you I'm going to platinum this one and Miles. And it just feels like a new game. Those ray traced reflections off of buildings and the floor that's really something to behold. It's I get it. It's just fluff. It just looks nicer. At the end of the day, I'm still playing it in 30 frames per second, which kind of sucks, but whatever, you know? But yeah, it does make a true difference when you're walking around.
Dude, it does. It really, and again, I haven't played it yet. I'm just speaking for Miles Morales, but it really just kind of takes you from out of, oh, I'm playing a video game, to you're enthralled into the story. And that's what I liked about the first Spider-Man game. It was so well done that you felt like you were part of a movie. You were going on a journey. You weren't just playing a game. And Miles Morales, jeez, dude, Miles Morales does that as well. And it's so well done. And the fluff and the visuals and the haptics and everything that's going on, the voice acting, the sound, it's so well done. The level where you're walking around their apartment in Brooklyn and you have to go into the room and then you find the records and all that kind of stuff. It's so cool that I don't mind doing it. That's usually the stuff in Grand Theft Auto or whatever. I'm like, I don't give a fuck about walking around this house. Just get me out of here. But dude, I was so into it. I'm like, what else is inside this house? What else can I do? Because it's just,
same with
I
me.
felt like I was in their house around Christmas time going on this journey, man. And it was just, is dope. It's just so well done.
The only thing I kind of feel weird about is that they made Genki look exactly like me with hair. And that's really
that's why I changed your name to Genki in my phone.
Because he doesn't look like that in the comics. Genki looks like Ned from the Homecoming movie, which really threw me off when Homecoming first came out, because he wasn't Genki, he was Ned, and I was like, what? But this new Genki fucking looks like me with hair, like 10 years younger.
That's funny as shit. And when you said that, I started laughing, and I instantly had to do it. I'm sorry.
You know what? I can't even get mad about that, because somehow
it makes me so
they got
happy.
a picture of me.
They own everything that we have. So also what I do like is the setup for the PlayStation was easy. Like I had the
just
PlayStation
scan the
app.
thing.
Just scan the thing, and then what fucking pissed me off too, go back to the Series X, is I mentioned this before. When I first got it on my Xbox One X, something got fucked up where it wouldn't let me play on my Series X and on my One X at the same time.
Oh, that's right.
My kids couldn't play, and I was flipping out, and I ended up spending $40 to buy them fucking Minecraft when I didn't want to. And long story short, Xbox refunded me, which was freaking awesome. It was a glitch on the One X part, and it was. Oh, excuse me, I was going to burp there. It was what it was. But the setup for the PlayStation 5 and the setup for the Xbox One X and just the next gen of these games and gaming systems and where we're going is so fucking fantastic. I am so fucking excited about it. It's just crazy.
Cyberpunk's coming soon too now.
Dude, it is. It's what? Oh, yeah.
Cyberpunk's coming soon. I mean, it's not updated yet. It's not going to be till later, but I mean, fuck. I mean... Just running off of backwards compatibility is going to be great.
So, but at the end of the day, the Series X and the PS5 are exactly how I thought they were going to be for me. And I don't see that changing anytime soon. The Series X for me is going to be the system where I got Game Pass. I don't really need to buy any games that come out, and because it's a first party exclusive by Microsoft, they're going to be on Game Pass. So there's nothing that I'm going to want to buy to play on my Series X. That's going to be my Game Pass, my streaming one. Just that's Daddy's system. That's the best way to put it. My PlayStation, that's where I'm going to buy the games. That's where when Cyberpunk comes out, if it's on Xbox or PlayStation, I'm buying it on PlayStation. Borderlands 3, got it on PlayStation. I'm not going to do that with my Xbox because I don't have a reason to. It's just
that's I'm the opposite, and it's kind of cool that we're going to have these games for separate systems because I pre-ordered Cyberpunk on the Xbox, and I already had it, but I had Borderlands for my Xbox, so it'd be kind of cool to compare.
Yeah, absolutely, and for me, I'm just like I even to this day, for as long as I've had my Xbox, I have way more PS4 games than I do for Xbox, and it's just me. But also I have a lot of Wolfenstein games and a lot of Fallout games that are on my PS4 that are now going to be on my Xbox.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like, all right, well, I guess I don't fucking need them anymore. So cool, it's going to be a good. Yeah, it's going to be a good trade-off here, but at the end of the day, I feel more excited and more fulfilled with my PlayStation than I do with the Xbox. And that's because, to me, I've been down with PlayStation since day one. They haven't done me wrong yet, and they just proved that their system, all white with the controllers, I love the look of it. It's way more beautiful in person. I think we both agree to that. It's just when you see it, when it comes out of the box, it was in a no frills package. It came out and it was beautiful, man. It was there. And then I laid it down and I installed it, turned it on. And from the get-go, it was beautiful. It was welcoming. It was like, oh man, here we are. But to me, the PlayStation felt so different and so ahead of where it was that I felt like I was stepping into the next gen.
Yeah, I've definitely put a lot more time into my PS5, even with the issues with it crashing and everything. But I think just that controller makes it feel more next gen. It may not be. Yes. I mean, the Series X obviously has more processing power with, it's got more flops, so to speak. But,
more flops.
That controller does make a huge difference.
Dude, it really does. And what I like that they have right now on the PS5 is that when I go into my storage, I downloaded again all the games on my PS4 that I want to take to the PS5 to an external, unplugged it, took it to the PS5, plugged it in, no issues. And what's really cool that the PS5 does right now is that if you go into your internal storage, it'll tell you what games you can move to an external. So if you're not sure if do I need to have Ghost of Tsushima on my PS5, you don't. You can have it on a hard drive on your external, and it'll play it beautifully on your PS5. And it tells you, these games have to stay on it. And for me, that was great because I didn't have to second guess what I had to put over.
Right.
PlayStation's like, look, you don't need this. And the Xbox didn't do that. So with the Xbox, it's more of a guessing game. Okay, let's just do this over here. So I love the fact that PlayStation did that. And once I realized I could do that, I was able to move almost everything because I was like, fuck, dude, my PlayStation's full. All I've got's God of War, and I can't do anything with Call of Duty because it's 1,000 fucking gigabytes, and this is bullshit. But now that I know I can play them off my external, that's great because I can keep getting those 2 terabyte externals that you and me have got, the Element ones. I mean, they got them right now at Best Buy, 2 terabytes for fucking $60. I can pick up a couple of those because all the PlayStation Plus collection games that they have are PS4 games. They just play better on PS5. Yeah. So they don't even take up internal hard drive space, which is amazing. So. Once I kind of got that figured out and I realized what I was doing and I wasn't an asshole and I wasn't stupid, it was easy to figure out where to save games and how to play. And it's just like you said, so I put more time into it and it's comfortable enough because it's a PlayStation, but this right here to me really feels like driving a 1990 Ford F-150 and then jumping into a 2020 F-150. It's so familiar, but it's so fucking different, and you're so excited with all the technology.
Yep. So I
can talk about the PS5 all day.
Seriously, same here. So I think
although I do
pretty much. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say the only thing that I have heard rumor of about PS5 is that you're gonna start seeing them come up online where instead of the white shells, you're gonna be able to have different colors and customizable shells.
I hope so, because those shells, the panels on the side look like they're super easy to remove from that teardown video.
Yeah, honestly, you can just bend them, and you can just bend them a quick snap, and then you can customize them with different ones. But I think they're going to start having them come out with consoles, and this will be PlayStation's way as opposed to, hey, look at this limited edition fucking Tomb Raider console. Here's this in a case, for the game.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
that'd be pretty cool. I like the way it
love it.
looks now, but I also would not mind having those panels be blue, because that's, that would be cool.
I would love to have them painted like the Into the Spider-Verse logo.
Dude, that would be cool. That would
Like
be
black
so
and just
cool.
had the red logo on top. It'd just be fucking dope, dude. Oh, I love it.
So yeah, we're only a few days into this new generation. By our next episode, we'll have a good solid 2 weeks under our belt. Hopefully some of these patches, or some of these issues with the PS5 will be patched out, and we'll give you guys an update. I know a lot of you were not able to secure pre-orders. The whole thing was a clusterfuck, so hopefully, going into the holiday season, there will be some hope for some people. But, we'll have to wait and see. So, but yeah, I think that wraps it up for today. My name is Tony. You can follow me on Twitter at ToneZone81. Josh?
My name is Josh, and you can find me on Twitter at BruceBain66.
You got it right!
Yeah, buddy!
All right, those of you who have your new consoles, enjoy, and we will see you guys in a couple of weeks.
Later, Gators.